ladies, section 11, an 18-year-old senior.
All right, we pick up 138-pound class.
Coached by Jim McGonigal, John Arceri. From Spencerport, section 5, a 17-year-old senior, season's record 34-2. Coached by Walt Tyke, 5th in the National Greco United States Wrestling Federation, 4th in National Freestyle United States Wrestling Federation. Year lifetime record 123-18-1. Trevor Graham.
All right, we start this 138-pound match. Trevor Graham from Section 5 in Spencerport. Right now attempting to take down John Arceri from Ward Melville, Section 11. Again, this is another one of those Section 5, Section 11 showdowns.
Interesting note on Trevor Graham. This is his 3rd trip to the States, and he did not place last year, so he's been here 3 times. He knows what this is all about, and he got himself into the finals this time. So
it's interesting to note how many good wrestlers that you see wrestling in college who've never won the States. You find some excellent wrestlers who've been here a long time. It's right now we've got a little bit of confusion and no points yet as Trevor Graham is trying desperately for a takedown, and Arceri is counting every move he made. As you mentioned, Jim, there's a lot of fine wrestlers here, and it's you hate to say it so it's a cliche, but it takes a lot just to get here. These men are all champions. They've all won their section. Right now, Arceri and Graham trying to best each other. Arceri we used to call it a Syracuse. He gets a 2-point takedown, puts him in the lead with about 30 seconds left to go in the first period. And out they go. I knew a very fine wrestler from East Syracuse, Manoa, Joe Labatt, who never won the States, but he took 2nd and a 4th, and I believe a 3rd, and as I say, a fine wrestler, but never, it's tough to win these, Jim. There's a lot that goes into this. There's ability, but there's also who you wrestle first, and we talked a lot about that earlier. There are some other things that go into it, especially when you can wrestle so many matches.
The luck of the draw plays a pretty good part, because sometimes a wrestler who finished 3rd may actually be the 2nd best wrestler, but so far we've gone through up to 132-pound class, and there wasn't anybody that was really overpowered. We had 2 overtime matches. The competition's been pretty even.
That's right. And as you mentioned, as we see these 2 wrestlers, Trevor Graham and John Arceri, sometimes it is the luck of the draw, because after all the champions from each section are brought up here, it's called a blind draw. And the eventual champion, you could be a 2nd place finisher, and if you lose to the first place man in the first round, the best you can do is 3rd. This way, you can wrestle back, and it's just a luck. You could be up there for 2nd place in the finals, but it all depends on who you meet in the first round. And as we said, it is a blind draw. There is no seeding, which is, as we said at the top of the show, a little bit controversial. Some people say, well, gee, there's one weight class where the 3 best guys were put in the same bracket, and gee, if we could have divided them up, they wouldn't have had to meet until the finals. But I guess that's all part of sports, as we see 1 point given to Trevor Graham, who's now down 2-1. Tried a little fireman's carry and roll, didn't work. They talk about this War Memorial being cold. It's getting a little hotter now, Jim.
Yesterday they thought it was a little cold at the beginning, but
right now I think with all the lights and stuff, it's hot. Right now we've got 2-1 lead in this match, 138 pounds. Trevor Graham from Spencerport, and John Arceri from Ward Melville High School. Both of these men a little tentative here. Whoa! Arceri and Graham heading for the wood, stopped by the officials. 1 minute left.
Good snatch on that leg by Graham.
Yeah, Arceri fights out. He tried to kick the leg. Nice move. He tried that before and it didn't work.
He goes in there for that fireman's and gets countered and kind of slips out of it and comes up on top.
Yeah, the fireman didn't work again, but he countered it. After the counter, he came up on the other side and did a very nice job. 2 points for John Arceri. Takedown. He's now ahead 4-1. They go out of bounds. Again, a packed house here at the Onondaga County War Memorial. As we look around, a lot of signs and things, so we can see them in the background. Very popular event, New York State Wrestling Championships. We get the legs in. If he stands up, they'll probably call potentially dangerous, but that's a moot point as he gets broken down to the mat by Arceri. Arceri trying to crank him over, got the half in. Nice shot there. Got the leg a little high. If Graham can... Again, we mentioned, this is just my own observation, Jim, but many times you come to the States and if you don't wrestle anybody who uses legs and then you get into that situation in the States, it's if you haven't had a lot of experience with it, it's kind of an awkward thing to try to break.
You mentioned earlier, too, that legs aren't as popular as they were before. The Mills ride, being out front, half Nelsons with arm bars and one-on-ones and crotch bars, that seems to me what the kids are going for a little more. Actually, I like that a little better. Puts a little more excitement in the match. You can get more back points.
And as we've seen, if you've seen Mills wrestle, you know he wrestles on the edge of danger in terms of putting himself in danger. As they come right at our camera to Trevor Graham and John Arceri. Arceri enjoying a 6-1 lead over Trevor Graham. Tries to kick through. Graham had his leg locked up tight by Arceri, and they go back to the middle of the mat. 1:22 left in second period. Or is it
I believe that's
third period? I'm sorry.
Arceri leads 6-1.
So far, this would have to be the, I hate to use the word boring, but it haven't had a lot of excitement in this match. But I suppose if you were out there wrestling, you'd be really excited, especially if you were ahead, because he's 1 minute away from winning the state championship, John Arceri. But a little bit of trouble now if Graham can get out the back, but he's got a half pretty tight.
We might mention that Arceri beat John Pickard, the local Section 3 champion, back in the quarterfinals. Close match, too. He beat John by 1 point. A little controversial calls, at least the fans thought so. Some back points weren't awarded that they thought belonged there, but anyways, Arceri went on to beat Pickard. And here he is, 6-1 leading Trevor Graham, and he beat John Pickard by 1 point.
That's right, and that was late in the match, too, that he got the 1 point. So, as we say, there's a lot more losers here than there are winners, and that's always the way it is. But some fine wrestlers as this match, not particularly exciting, it winds down right now. Hands up in the air, John Arceri, a happy young man from Ward Melville High School,
1981,
as he gets ready to shake hands with Trevor Graham.
John Arceri.
Trevor Graham disappointed, but nevertheless, a nice match for John Arceri, Ward Melville, 138-pound New York State champion, defeating Trevor Graham 6-1.